Before the world fades into dreams, turn your attention inward to the silent machinery of your own existence. Within you, trillions of cells are working in perfect harmony, executing a code written billions of years ago. This is not magic. This is the architecture of life. Tonight, we will travel back through the mist of centuries to uncover the greatest story ever told, the story of flesh, blood, and the green earth. We will walk the halls of discovery where humanity first learned to read the language of nature. Welcome to a journey deep into the science of life. Welcome to the story about biology. The water of the Aegean Sea is not merely blue. It is a deep, living indigo that breathes against the rocky shores of the island of Lesbos. And tonight, we travel back over 2,000 years to sit beside these ancient waters where the story of biology begins. It is the 4th century BC, and the air is thick with the scent of salt and pine, and the rhythmic sound of the waves creates a lullaby that is echoed since the dawn of time. Here, away from the busy streets of Athens and the philosophical debates of the Lyceum, a man sits alone on the edge of a calm lagoon known as Pyrrha. This is Aristotle, and he is not looking up at the stars to find the answers to the universe. He is looking down into the shallow, clear water at the teeming life beneath the surface. Imagine him there, draped in the simple robes of a scholar, his beard dusted with the sea salt, his eyes wide with a profound curiosity that will eventually lay the foundation for all biological science. He holds a piece of parchment and a reed pen, but for a long moment he does not write, he only watches. The sun is beginning to set, casting a golden light over the lagoon, turning the surface of the water into a mirror of amber and fire. And in this light, Aristotle observes the movement of a starfish, the slow pulsed breathing of a sea sponge, and the intricate dance of a cuttlefish. He is witnessing the great mystery of existence, which he calls the bios, the essence of life itself. At this moment in history, there are no microscopes to see the cells. There are no textbooks to explain DNA, and so the world is filled with a sense of wonder and magic. Aristotle believes that there is a special energy flowing through every living thing, a force that separates the animate from the inanimate, and he calls this the vital heat, or the pneuma. As you listen to this story, imagine that same vital heat within you, a gentle warmth radiating from your chest, spreading to your fingertips and your toes, a biological spark that connects you to that ancient observer on the shore. Aristotle leans closer to a tide pool, his shadow falling over the water, and he observes the symmetry of a sea urchin. He marvels at its design, how it is built with such precision, a perfect sphere protected by spines. And he realizes that nature does nothing without purpose. This is the birth of the scientific method, the realization that by observing the physical world, we can understand the laws of life. He picks up the urchin, feeling its texture, its reality, and he begins to mentally categorize it, understanding that life is not chaotic, but organized into a ladder of being, a scala naturae. In his mind, he is drafting the pages of his monumental work, The History of Animals, a book that will stand as the authority on biology for nearly 2,000 years. He notes that some creatures have red blood, while others, like the octopus, are bloodless. And this distinction is the first step in the long journey of taxonomy, the science of naming and sorting the natural world. The waves lap gently against the limestone rocks, a soft shushing sound that invites the mind to rest, and Aristotle's breathing slows, matching the rhythm of the sea. He thinks about the heart, the central organ of this vital heat, and he pictures it as a furnace, a source of life that cooks the food we eat and powers the movements of our limbs. It is a poetic understanding of biology, a time when science and philosophy were one and the same, intertwined like the roots of the olive trees growing on the cliffs behind him. As the twilight deepens, the colors of the lagoon shift from gold to a deep violet, and the creatures of the day retreat into their shelters, while the creatures of the night begin to stir. Aristotle observes this cycle, this circadian rhythm that governs all life, from the smallest plankton to the greatest whale, and he understands that rest is as essential as activity. He writes a few lines on his parchment, the scratching of the reed pen, the only sound competing with the water, and he describes the egg of a bird, how a tiny beating point of red appears within the yolk, the first sign of the heart, the first spark of that vital heat. It is a powerful realization that life begins with a rhythm, a beat, a pulse. And as you lie there now, you can feel that same ancient rhythm in your own body, the steady, reliable beat of your heart, a biological drum that has never stopped playing its song since before you were born. The science of life is not just about cold facts and dry data. It is about this miracle of continuity, this fire that is passed down from generation to generation, surviving ice ages and droughts, empires and extinctions. Aristotle places the sea urchin back into the water, watching it slowly move across the sand, and he feels a profound connection to it, a realization that all life is kin, that we are all made of the same elements, the same earth and water, the same stardust arranged in infinite varieties. The air grows cooler as the sun dips below the horizon, and the first stars begin to appear, reflecting in the still surface of the lagoon, like diamonds scattered on black velvet. This is the incubation period of human knowledge, a time of quiet observation where the mind is free to wander through the complexities of nature without the need for immediate answers. Aristotle stands up, brushing the sand from his robes, and takes a deep breath of the cool night air, filling his lungs with the oxygen that the sea and the trees have produced, a chemical exchange that connects him to the biosphere. He walks slowly back towards his dwelling, his mind filled with the images of the day, the spiral of the snail shell, the articulation of the crab's leg, the transparency of the jellyfish. And he knows that he has only scratched the surface of the great mystery. The lagoon of Pyrrha settles into silence, the water becoming a dark sheet of glass, and the world prepares to sleep, to regenerate, to repair the cells and restore the vital energies for the coming day. In this historical moment, we find a deep sense of peace, the peace of understanding that we are part of a grand design, a biological system that is both resilient and beautiful. The concept of vitalism, though later evolved by modern science, holds a poetic truth that there is a difference between the rock and the rose, between the sand and the seagull, and that difference is the spark of life. As you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine that spark within you glowing softly, a gentle amber light in the center of your being, keeping you warm, keeping you alive, keeping you safe. The history of biology is the history of us, of our quest to understand the machinery of our own bodies, and it began here in the quiet contemplation of a Greek evening beside the whispering sea. The sounds of the ancient world fade into a soft hum, the chirping of crickets, the rustle of olive leaves, the distant call of an owl, and the steady, eternal wash of the ocean against the land. Aristotle's observations remind us that we are not separate from nature. We are nature. We are biology in motion. We are the observers and the observed. Let the image of the lagoon fade now, replaced by the comforting darkness of your own rest, knowing that the same vital heat that intrigued Aristotle protects you now, fueling your dreams and healing your body as you sleep. The wisdom of the past wraps around you like a warm blanket, and the questions of the universe settle into a quiet knowing, a trust in the processes of life that have worked perfectly for billions of years. Sleep now in the safety of this biological truth, carried by the tides of history, drifting on the same ocean of time that Aristotle watched, feeling the spark of life dimming into a peaceful, glowing ember of rest. We leave the shores of ancient Greece and let the currents of time carry us forward through the centuries, drifting past the rise and fall of empires until we arrive in the year 1543 in the quiet stone streets of Padua, Italy. The air here is different. It holds the scent of old paper and beeswax and the coolness of heavy velvet drapes drawn against the night. We are entering the study of Andreas Vesalius, a man who is about to change the way we see ourselves forever. The room is dimly lit by the golden glow of a single tallow candle, the flame dancing slightly in the still air, casting long, soft shadows against the walls, which are lined with leather-bound books and dried herbs. Vesalius sits hunched over a large wooden desk, his hand moving with deliberate precision as he sketches upon a sheet of parchment. He is mapping the unknown territory, not of a new continent, but of the human body itself. This is the era of the Renaissance, a rebirth of knowledge where art and science embrace. And tonight, Vesalius is exploring the fabrica, the fabric of man. He is looking at the human form not as a mystery to be feared, but as a masterpiece of engineering, a structure more complex and beautiful than any cathedral in Rome. Listen to the scratch of his quill pen against the paper, a rhythmic sound that mimics the ticking of a clock or the beating of a heart. He is drawing the skeleton, the silent framework that holds us upright against the pull of gravity. As you lie here, let your attention drift to your own bones, the deep white architecture hidden beneath your skin. Vesalius sketches the femur, the great thigh bone, the strongest pillar of the body. And as he shades the curvature of the bone, imagine your own legs becoming heavy and solid, sinking deeper into the mattress. He traces the lines of the tibia and the fibula, the bones of the lower leg, and he marvels at how they articulate, how they fit together with such satisfying logic. There is a deep comfort in this structure, a realization that you are built on a foundation of immense strength. The candle flickers, illuminating the drawing of the foot, the calcaneus or heel bone, and the delicate ladder of the toes. Think of how many miles your feet have carried you, and now, in this moment of history and rest, they are finally still. Vesalius moves his hand up the parchment to the pelvis, the bowl of bone that cradles the body's center, and then to the spine. He draws the vertebrae one by one, stacking them like pearls on a string, each one cushioned by a disc of cartilage, allowing for movement and grace. Visualize your own spine now, uncoiling, lengthening, releasing the tension of the day, as if each vertebra is finding its perfect alignment on the bed. The scientist pauses, dipping his pen into the inkwell, and he begins to layer the muscles over the bone.
This is the miracle of musculature, the red cords of life that pull and release, allowing us to dance, to run, to hold those we love. Vesalius calls this the flesh of the machine, and he draws the fibers with the eye of an artist. He sketches the gastrocnemius, the calf muscle, and the hamstrings, and he observes how they taper into white, shining tendons that anchor them to the bone. These tendons are like the rigging of a great ship, strong and flexible, and as you visualize them, imagine them loosening now. The tension in your legs is dissolving, the ropes are going slack, and the muscles are melting into a state of pure relaxation. Vesalius is fascinated by the gluteus and the latissimus dorsi, the broad muscles of the back that shield the ribs. He sees them as a protective cloak, a woven suit of armor that keeps the vital organs safe. Feel that protection now, the sensation that your back is a solid wall, a shield that allows you to rest without worry. The anatomy of the human body is a silent symphony, a collection of parts playing in unison. The anatomist moves his attention to the hand, and here he pauses in sheer wonder. The human hand, with its opposable thumb and its intricate web of ligaments, is a tool of infinite capability. He draws the carpals of the wrist, the metacarpals of the palm, and the phalanges of the fingers. He traces the path of the flexor tendons that run through the wrist like cables in a pulley system, allowing the fingers to curl and grip. Relax your hands now. Let your fingers curl naturally into a soft, open palm. The work of the day is done. The grasping and holding is over, and the hands can simply be. Vesalius understands that every movement requires a counter-movement, that for every muscle that contracts, another must relax, and tonight, your only job is the relaxation. He sketches the rib cage, the cage of bone that houses the lungs and the heart. He draws the intercostal muscles, the small bands of flesh between the ribs that expand and contract with every breath. Watch the drawing in your mind, the rise and fall of the chest, the bellows of life that have been pumping oxygen since your first cry. Vesalius knows that this rhythm is involuntary, that the body breathes for you a faithful servant that never sleeps, even when your conscious mind drifts away. Connect with that automatic rhythm now, the gentle expansion of your ribs, the soothing collapse as the air leaves your body, taking with it the stress and the noise of the outside world. The candle burns lower, the wax dripping slowly down the side, representing the slow passage of time. Vesalius is now studying the shoulder, the complex ball and socket joint of the scapula and the humerus. He looks at the trapezius muscle, the kite-shaped sheet that spans the neck and shoulders, where we so often carry the weight of our burdens. In his drawing, the muscle is smooth and elongated, and in your body, let that muscle drop. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Let them sink into the pillow, releasing the weight of history, releasing the weight of expectations. Above the shoulders sits the skull, the cranium, the smooth helmet of bone that protects the galaxy of the brain. Vesalius treats the skull with reverence, tracing the suture lines where the plates of bone fuse together. He knows that inside this casing lies the seat of the soul, the command center of the body. He draws the mandible, the jawbone, and the strong masseter muscles used for chewing. Unclench your jaw now. Let there be a space between your teeth. Let the tongue rest on the floor of the mouth. The face is a map of muscles used for expression, for smiling, for frowning. But now, in the solitude of sleep, the face becomes a blank canvas, smooth and serene. Vesalius leans back in his heavy wooden chair, rubbing his eyes, his hands stained with ink and the dust of discovery. He looks at his creation, the fabrica, the map of man, and he feels a sense of awe. He realizes that we are not just spirit, we are matter. We are biological machines of exquisite design. This knowledge is not cold or clinical.
It is warm and grounding. To know your anatomy is to know your home, the house you will inhabit for your entire life. The candlelight softens, fading into the corners of the room, and the silence of Padua wraps around the building. Outside the window, the world is asleep, the citizens of Italy resting their bones and muscles, repairing the microscopic tears of the day. Inside your body, the same process is happening. Your osteocytes, the bone cells, are maintaining your skeleton. Your myocytes, the muscle cells, are replenishing their energy stores. It is a busy, silent workshop of repair that happens only when you surrender to sleep. The tendons that held you upright are now slack. The ligaments are at rest. The spine is decompressed. You are a masterpiece of biology, a fabric woven from the elements of the earth, designed to move, designed to feel, but also designed to stop. Vesalius blows out the candle, and the room plunges into a comforting darkness, a velvety black that matches the inside of your own eyelids. The smell of the smoke lingers for a moment, then fades. The image of the skeleton and the muscles remains, not as a scary figure, but as a symbol of your own solidity. You are held together by this intelligent design. You are safe within your own skin. The science of anatomy teaches us that every part of us is connected, that the toe bone is connected to the foot bone, that the heart is connected to the lungs, that the mind is connected to the body. In this state of total connection, you can drift away. The drawings of Vesalius are closed within the great book, the pages pressing together, preserving the knowledge for future generations. Your body is the living book, the living history of millions of years of evolution. Feel the heaviness of your limbs, the pleasant weight of your anatomy anchoring you to the bed. The scientific exploration of the body ends here, in the quiet dark, where the only thing that matters is the slow, steady fabric of your breath and the deep, restorative silence of your sleep.
From the solid and tangible world of bones and muscles, we now shrink down smaller and smaller, dissolving into the realm of the invisible as we travel north across the map of Europe to the quiet, canal-lined city of Delft in the Netherlands. The year is 1674, and the Dutch Golden Age is in full bloom. But our destination is not a bustling market or a loud tavern, but a silent room in the back of a draper's shop where the dust motes dance in shafts of afternoon sunlight. Here sits a man named Antony van Leeuwenhoek, a draper by trade, but an explorer by spirit, and he is holding in his hand a key that will unlock a secret universe. He is not a university professor in robes, but a curious man with infinite patience, and in his hand he holds a small device made of brass and silver, no larger than a postage stamp. It is a single-lens microscope, a tiny bead of glass that he has ground and polished with his own fingers, spending hundreds of hours perfecting the curve until it is flawless. Imagine the dedication of this act, the rhythmic grinding of glass against metal, a meditative motion that clears the mind and focuses the will. The room is utterly still, save for the ticking of a grandfather clock in the hall and the distant muffled sound of a boat moving through the canal waters outside. Leeuwenhoek picks up a small glass tube, and inside it is something so ordinary that no one else has ever given it a second thought. It is a single drop of rainwater collected from a clay pot in his garden. To the naked eye, it looks like nothing, just a clear bead of liquid, a tiny mirror reflecting the window. But Leeuwenhoek knows there is more. He brings the brass plate up to his eye, squinting against the bright natural light streaming through the window pane, and he adjusts the screw with his thumb, slowly bringing the sample into focus. This is the moment, the threshold is crossed, the moment humanity steps into the inner space. Suddenly,
The blur resolves into sharpness, and the gasp that escapes his lips is silent, swallowed by the room. The drop of water is not empty, it is crowded, it is a bustling city, it is a galaxy of swirling stars and spinning planets. He sees thousands of tiny creatures, which he calls animalcules, little animals swimming and diving in the vast ocean of that single drop. As you listen, visualize this hidden world coming to life behind your closed eyelids, a world of soft greens and translucent whites. There are rotifers spinning like microscopic wheels, their tiny cilia beating in a hypnotic rhythm, creating currents that draw food into their mouths. They do not struggle, they do not hurry, they simply exist in a state of perpetual flow, suspended in their liquid sky. There are bell-shaped vorticella, tethered by long, slender stalks that coil and uncoil like springs, gentle and elastic, moving with the grace of underwater flowers. Leeuwenhoek watches them for hours, mesmerized by their silent ballet, and you too can feel entranced by this image of effortless movement. In this microscopic galaxy, there is no gravity to weigh you down. There is only buoyancy, the feeling of floating, weightless, in a warm, safe sea.
The scientist observes that these creatures are everywhere in the water, from the lake, in the moisture of his own mouth, in the dew on a leaf, and this realization is not frightening, it is deeply comforting. It means that we are never truly alone, that life is a woven tapestry of the seen and the unseen, interconnected in a web of biological brilliance. The little eels, or spirillum bacteria, twist and turn like corkscrews, drilling through the water with elegant efficiency, and their movement is so smooth it feels like a massage for the eyes. This discovery changes the definition of biology forever, proving that life does not just exist in the large and the loud, but thrives in the small and the silent. Leeuwenhoek notes their shapes. Some are spheres, perfectly round like miniature moons. Some are rods, some are spirals, and each one has a purpose. Each one has a life cycle. Each one is a masterpiece of nature's engineering. As you lie in your bed, imagine that you can zoom into your own body, seeing the trillions of benevolent bacteria that live on your skin and in your gut, the microbiome that protects you and digests your food. You are a planet to them, a vast, nurturing ecosystem, and they are your silent guardians, working in harmony with your cells while you sleep. The light in the room in Delft begins to fade as the afternoon wears on, turning from a bright white to a soft, hazy orange, and Leeuwenhoek's eye begins to tire, but he cannot look away. He is witnessing the very building blocks of existence, the raw material of life itself. He marvels at the transparency of these creatures, how the light passes right through them, revealing their tiny internal organs, their digesting vacuoles, their pulsating hearts, if they even have them. It is a world of total honesty, where nothing is hidden and everything is clear. The water in the tube is a closed system, a perfect microcosm of peace, where the chaos of the human world does not exist. There are no wars here, no taxes, no arguments, only the eternal dance of survival and existence. The lens of the microscope acts like a portal, transporting the mind away from the worries of the macro world and shrinking them down until they disappear entirely, leaving only wonder. Leeuwenhoek realizes that this drop of water contains more life than there are people in his entire city, perhaps in his entire country, and this thought makes him feel humble, small, and serene. The ego dissolves when faced with the infinite complexity of the microscopic, and in that dissolution there is rest. The brass of the microscope warms under his fingers, absorbing his body heat, connecting the observer to the instrument. He shifts the sample slightly, and a new vista opens up, a forest of algae, green ribbons stretching across the field of view, converting sunlight into energy. This is photosynthesis happening on the smallest scale, a silent chemical reaction that fuels the world. The green is soothing, a color of healing and growth, and it fills your mind's eye with a sense of freshness and renewal.
Outside the window, the sun finally sets below the horizon of the flat Dutch landscape, and the light becomes too dim to see the animalcules any longer. Hooke lowers the microscope, rubbing his tired eye, a smile playing on his lips. He knows a secret that the rest of the world is sleeping on. He carefully places the instrument on his wooden desk beside his quill and ink and leans back in his chair, listening to the silence of the house. The tiny creatures in the drop of water continue their swim in the dark, unaffected by the night, guided by instincts written into their substance billions of years ago. They do not need the sun to be who they are, just as you do not need to do anything right now to be worthy of rest. Your biology takes over in the dark, the cells of your body continuing their work without your supervision. The white blood cells patrol your veins like the tiny guardians Hooke saw. The mitochondria in your cells hum with energy production, and the neurons in your brain begin to tidy up the memories of the day. It is a microscopic galaxy within you, mirroring the one in the water. As you drift deeper into the pillows, let the image of the swirling, peaceful animalcules lull you. They are the original ancestors, the distant cousins from the dawn of time, still swimming in the primal waters. The drop of water is a world unto itself, complete and perfect. And for tonight, that is all you need to know. The boundaries between you and the rest of nature soften. The walls of the room fade away, and you are floating in that same suspension held by the gentle surface tension of sleep. The history of science is not just about big explosions or giant rockets. It is about the quiet moments in small rooms where a single person looks closely at the world and sees the magic hidden in the mundane. Hooke blows out his candle and the room goes black, but the life remains, the energy remains, the science remains. You are now part of that silent observation, watching the darkness behind your eyes, seeing the shapes of dreams begin to form, like the animalcules in the lens. Swimming, floating, drifting, spinning slowly into the deep calm of the biological night, where the universe is small enough to hold in your hand and vast enough to get lost in forever. The water is still, the world is quiet, the microscopic galaxy turns gently in the void, and you are asleep.
From the fluid-moving world of the water drop, we now travel across the misty channel to the bustling, fog-laden city of London in the year 1675, where the air smells of coal smoke and the Thames flows heavily beneath the London Bridge. It is deep winter, and the city is quiet, wrapped in a blanket of cold, damp air. But inside the Gresham College, there is a warm room illuminated by the complex arrangement of oil lamps and glass globes. Here sits Robert Hooke, a man of immense genius and mechanical skill, a man who sees the world as a series of springs and levers and architectural wonders. He is alone in his laboratory, surrounded by the ticking of pendulum clocks he has designed and the smell of brass and polished wood. Tonight, he is not looking at the stars through a telescope, but at the very small through a compound microscope of his own invention. The instrument is a thing of beauty itself, a tube of tooled leather and gold, standing on a heavy base, a monument to human curiosity. Hooke is preparing a specimen that seems utterly mundane, a simple piece of cork, the bark of the cork oak tree used to stop bottles of wine. He takes a razor-sharp penknife, and with a steady hand, he slices a piece of cork so thin it is almost transparent, a mere whisper of wood, lighter than a feather. He places this delicate wafer onto the black stage of his microscope and adjusts the flame of the oil lamp so that the light passes through a water-filled globe,
focusing a bright, intense beam onto the specimen. This ritual of preparation is slow and deliberate, a calming ceremony of science, where the mind focuses entirely on the task at hand, leaving no room for the worries of the day. As you listen to this, imagine the focus narrowing down, the world shrinking to the point of a needle, the quiet concentration that precedes discovery. Hooke lowers his eye to the eyepiece, the glass lens cool against his skin, and he peers into the hidden structure of the wood. What he sees makes him pause in silent reverence. He does not see a solid mass or a chaotic jumble. Instead, he sees order, he sees geometry, he sees architecture. The cork is made up of thousands of tiny little boxes arranged in perfect rows, like the honeycomb of a bee or the woven threads of a linen sheet. They are distinct, regular, and incredibly numerous. Hooke is the first human being to ever lay eyes on the fundamental unit of life, and in this moment of quiet revelation, he searches for a word to describe them. They remind him of the small, bare rooms where monks live and pray, the quiet sanctuaries of a monastery, and so he whispers the word cell. Cella in Latin, meaning a small room or a hut. It is a word that implies safety, solitude, and structure. As you lie in the comfort of your own room, think of this word cell, not as a prison, but as a sanctuary, a place of rest. Hooke observes that these cells are empty, for the living matter of the cork has long since dried away, leaving only the sturdy walls behind. But these walls are strong. They are the skeleton of the plant, the framework that allowed the tree to stand tall against the wind. This discovery is the foundation of all biology, the realization that life is built of blocks, that we are not made of one continuous substance, but of trillions of tiny individual units. Bring your awareness now to your own body, to the architecture that holds you together. You are a city of cells, a metropolis of 30 trillion tiny rooms, all working together in silence. Your bones are made of osteocytes, living in their own calcified caverns, strong and durable, providing the pillars of your temple. Your skin is a wall of epithelial cells, layered like bricks, protecting you from the outside world, keeping you safe and contained. This is the architecture of life, a structure so sound and so stable that it has evolved over billions of years to be the perfect vessel for your consciousness. Robert Hooke turns the focusing screw of his microscope, exploring the vast landscape of the cork slice, counting the cells, calculating that in a single cubic inch there are more than 1,200 million of them. The sheer scale of this number is numbing, a concept so large it forces the mind to let go of small anxieties. There is a deep comfort in knowing that you are built with such redundancy, such abundance. You are not fragile. You are a fortress of biology. The light from the oil lamp flickers, casting dancing shadows on the walls of the laboratory, but the image in the microscope remains steady, a grid of permanence. Hooke writes in his great book, Micrographia, describing these pores as the first microscopical pores I ever saw, and perhaps that were ever seen. He sketches them with the hand of a master draftsman, drawing the lines of the cell walls with ink, preserving the moment for eternity. As you visualize these tiny rooms, imagine them within yourself as spaces of quiet potential. In every cell of your body there is a center, a nucleus, which acts as the library, holding the genetic instructions for life. But tonight the library is closed, the workers are resting, and the machinery is in a low power mode. The cell membranes, which act as the walls of these rooms, are soft and flexible, allowing nutrients to flow in and waste to flow out, a gentle tidal rhythm of nourishment and cleansing. Hooke looks away from the lens for a moment, rubbing his eyes,
dazzled by the brightness of the magnified world, and he looks around his own room. He sees the beams of the ceiling, the bricks of the fireplace, and he realizes that nature is the master architect, that human buildings are just clumsy imitations of the elegance found in a piece of wood. The concept of the cell brings a sense of compartmentalization, which is helpful for sleep. Imagine that you can place every worry, every thought, every to-do list into its own separate cell, its own tiny box, and then close the door. They are safe there. They will not be lost, but they cannot disturb you now.
You are sealing off the chambers of your mind, just as the cork cells are sealed, partitioned, and orderly. The wind howls outside along the streets of London, rattling the window panes. But inside the laboratory, it is warm and still. Hooke feels a kinship with the oak tree that produced the cork, thinking of it standing in a sun-drenched grove in Portugal, absorbing the rain and the light, growing slowly year after year. That slowness is captured in the cells, the patience of nature solidified into structure. Your body possesses that same patience. Your cells regenerate at their own pace, healing cuts, replacing old tissues, growing hair and nails, all without you having to command it. It is a silent, automatic grace. The discovery of the cell is the discovery of the self at the most granular level. It tells us that we are composite beings, made of many, but functioning as one. As Robert Hooke packs away his instruments, covering the microscope with a velvet cloth, he feels the satisfaction of understanding. He has seen the floor plan of life. He blows out the oil lamp, and the smell of the extinguished wick fills the air, a scent of finality and rest. The darkness returns, reclaiming the room, and with the darkness comes the time for sleep. The cells of the cork are waiting in the dark, and the cells of your body are waiting too. They are shifting into their nocturnal cycle, repairing the DNA, building up energy stores for tomorrow, cleaning out the toxins of the day. It is a biological housekeeping that requires your absence, your unconsciousness. Trust in the architecture, trust in the walls that hold you, trust in the millions of tiny rooms that make up who you are. The image of the honeycomb structure fades slowly from your mind, leaving only a sense of order and stability. You are grounded, you are solid, you are a masterpiece of cellular engineering. The history of biology pauses here in the dark London night, leaving the busy world behind and settling into the microscopic stillness. There is no movement now, only the steady structural integrity of the cell. Peace is found in these small spaces, in the quiet gaps between the atoms, in the empty rooms where life takes a breath. Sleep now, secure in the knowledge that you are built to last, that your biology is a fortress, and that every cell in your body is humming a low vibration of rest.
We leave the enclosed rooms of the microscope and step out into the open air, into the golden warmth of a summer afternoon in the year 1779. We find ourselves in the lush, rolling countryside of England, where the Dutch scientist Jan Ingenhousz has retreated from the noise of the city to answer a fundamental question about the nature of air and life. The garden is alive with the vibration of insects and the rustle of wind through the heavy branches of the oak trees, but here, in the center of the green lawn, it is perfectly still. Ingenhousz sits on a wooden bench, his face bathed in the gentle heat of the sun, and before him sits a series of glass jars filled with clear water. Inside these jars, submerged in the liquid, are sprigs of mint and leaves of willow, suspended in a silent underwater ballet. This is the setting for the discovery of the most important chemical reaction on Earth, a reaction that is happening right now, outside your window, and even within the room where you sleep.
Ingenhousz leans forward, observing the leaves with the same intensity that a jeweler might inspect a diamond. He notices that where the sunlight hits the green surface of the submerged leaves, tiny bubbles begin to form. They're small and silver, rising slowly to the surface like pearls of air escaping from a treasure chest. He watches one bubble, then another and another, a steady stream of gas rising from the plant. This is not just air, this is the breath of the earth. He has discovered that in the presence of sunlight, plants are producers. They are the engines that purify the atmosphere, creating the very oxygen that we need to survive. As you listen to this, imagine yourself sitting in that garden, the smell of chlorophyll and damp soil filling your senses, the warmth of the sun relaxing the muscles of your back and shoulders. The science of photosynthesis is the science of giving, and tonight we focus on this incredible generosity of nature. Let your mind zoom in now, deeper than the eye can see, entering the microscopic landscape of the leaf itself. We pass through the waxy outer layer, the cuticle, which protects the plant from drying out, and we enter the mesophyll, the middle leaf, where the magic happens. Here, inside the plant cells, or the chloroplasts, tiny green organelles that look like emerald discs floating in the cytoplasm. These are the machines of life, the solar panels of the natural world. Imagine millions of them working in silence, capturing the energy of the sun. A photon of light travels 93 million miles from the surface of the star, through the vacuum of space, through the atmosphere, and strikes the surface of the leaf. In that instant, the chlorophyll molecule absorbs the energy and a chain reaction begins. It is a process of splitting water, taking the H2O and breaking it apart, releasing the hydrogen to make fuel and releasing the oxygen as a waste product. It is a humble term, waste product, for something so vital, but to the plant, the oxygen is just an exhale.
Visualize this invisible gas flowing out of the cells, moving through the air spaces inside the leaf and finding its way to the stomata. The stomata are the tiny mouths of the plant, microscopic pores on the underside of the leaf that open and close to breathe. They open wide to let the carbon dioxide in and to let the oxygen out. It is a silent rhythm, a door opening and closing, a breath taken and a breath released. Connect this image to your own breathing now. As you inhale, you are pulling in the gift that the plants have created. The oxygen enters your nose, travels down your trachea, and fills the delicate sacs of your lungs. It then crosses into your blood, binding to the hemoglobin, turning your blood a bright, rich red. It is a direct physical connection between you and the green world. Every breath you take is a handshake with the trees, a silent thank you to the grass. Ingenhousz observed that this bubbling, this production of oxygen, only happens in the light. When the sun goes down, the process stops. The bubbles cease rising in the jar. The plant rests. This is a crucial realization for your own sleep. Just as the plant responds to the cycle of light and dark, so do you. The sun sets, the light fades, and the time for production is over. The green machines shut down for the night. The chloroplasts go into a state of dormancy, waiting for the dawn. In this darkness, the biology of the plant shifts. It begins to respire, just like you, consuming a small amount of oxygen to keep its cells alive, but the heavy work of the day is done. The garden in 1779 settles into the twilight. The shadows lengthen across the grass, cooling the earth. Ingenhousz corks his jars, satisfied with the day's work. He understands now that the world is a system of balance. Animals breathe out carbon dioxide, which is the food for the plants. Plants breathe out oxygen, which is the life for the animals.
It is a perfect circle, a loop of chemistry that has sustained life for eons. There is a profound peace in this system, a sense that everything is provided for, that nothing is wasted. You are part of this cycle. You do not have to force your breath. It happens automatically, governed by the same laws that govern the oak tree and the mint sprig. As the light leaves the sky, the colors of the garden mute, turning from vibrant greens to soft grays and blacks. This is the visual signal for rest. Your brain produces melatonin, mimicking the darkness of the world, telling your cells that it is time to slow down. Imagine the forest at night, the millions of leaves hanging still in the darkness, the great exchange of gases paused, the wind dying down. The trees are standing guard, silent sentinels that surround your home, surround your city, surround your life. They are the lungs of the planet, and they are resting now too. The energy they captured from the sun is locked away in the form of sugar, stored in their roots and branches, waiting to be used for growth. You too have gathered energy, today's experiences and thoughts, and now you must store them away, letting the mind settle. Ingenhousz walks back to his house, the gravel crunching softly under his boots, leaving the jars on the bench. The water in the jars is still. The bubbles have stopped. The surface is flat and mirror-like, reflecting the first stars. This stillness is what we seek, a cessation of bubbling, a stopping of the rising thoughts. The science of botany teaches us patience. A tree does not rush to grow. It adds ring upon ring, year after year, slowly expanding its reach. A leaf does not rush to photosynthesize. It waits for the sun. Give yourself permission to adopt the pace of a plant, to be rooted, to be still, to simply exist and breathe. The air in your room is rich with oxygen thanks to the work of the green world during the day. Breathe it in deeply, filling the bottom of your lungs, holding it for a second to feel the life force, and then letting it go in a long, slow exhale. With that exhale, you release the carbon dioxide, the stress, the tension, giving it back to the universe to be recycled. You are a biological organism, perfectly adapted to this planet, perfectly in tune with the atmosphere. There is no separation between the biology out there in the garden and the biology in here in the bed. It is all one continuous fabric of life. The night deepens, and the silence of the 18th century countryside wraps around you. No cars, no electricity, just the sound of the wind and the turning of the earth. The plants are sleeping, the birds are sleeping, the very soil is resting. Ingenhousz blows out his candle and joins the collective slumber of the hemisphere. The green light of the chloroplasts has faded into the black velvet of restorative sleep. The microscopic doors, the stomata, are closed, retaining moisture, preserving life. Your eyes are closed. Your body is preserving its energy. You are drifting into the carbon cycle, drifting into the ecosystem, becoming a quiet part of the breath of the earth. Trust in the air that surrounds you. Trust in the chemistry of your blood. Trust that when the sun rises tomorrow, the bubbles will rise again, the green engines will restart, and the world will begin anew. But for now, there is only the dark, the cool water, the silent leaf, and the deep, peaceful rhythm of your own breathing, carrying you down into the dreamless sleep of the natural world. From the breathing forests of England and the microscopic rooms of London, we travel north now to the crisp, cool air of Uppsala, Sweden, in the middle of the 18th century, where the world is about to be given a name. It is a time when the earth felt vast and unknown, filled with plants and animals that had no titles, no categories, and no place in the human mind. But one man is sitting in his study,
surrounded by the smell of dried herbs and old parchment, ready to bring order to the chaos. This is Carolus Linnaeus, the father of taxonomy, and tonight we enter his world of perfect structure and gentle organization. The room is quiet, save for the rhythmic scratching of his quill and the soft ticking of a clock. And outside the window lies his famous botanical garden, where every plant is planted in its proper place according to its family and its form. Imagine the satisfaction of looking out at that garden, seeing not a tangled mess of green, but a neat, orderly system where everything belongs and everything is accounted for. Linnaeus is writing his great work, the Systema Naturae, the system of nature, and as he writes, he's building a mental library for the entire planet. He believes that nature is not random, but that it follows a divine order, a hierarchy that descends like a grand staircase from the general to the specific. Listen to the rhythm of the classification system as it flows like a soothing chant. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. It is a ladder that leads us down from the vastness of the universe into the comfort of the specific. And as you lie in bed, let your mind descend this ladder, rung by rung, leaving the heavy weight of the world behind at the top. The first step is kingdom, the broadest category, encompassing all of life. And Linnaeus divides the world into the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and the mineral kingdom, vast realms of existence that hold us all. It is a feeling of belonging, of being part of a greater whole. Then we step down to phylum, where the creatures are sorted by their body plans, the vertebrates with their spines and the invertebrates with their shells. Then comes class, the mammals with their warm blood and milk, the birds with their feathers, the reptiles with their scales. It is a sorting process, a gentle filing away of information that calms the primitive brain, because the brain loves patterns. It loves to know where things go. Linnaeus picks up a dried specimen of a wild rose, pressing it flat against the page, and he gives it a name, Rosa canina. This is the binomial system, the two-name method that gave every living thing a surname and a first name. The rhythm of the Latin is musical and slow, a language of scholars and monks that has no sharp edges. Rosa canina, Homo sapiens, Canis lupus. The sounds are round and open, rolling off the tongue like a soothing incantation. As Linnaeus works, he is effectively tidying up the world, taking the scattered puzzle pieces of nature and snapping them into place. Think of your own mind right now as a room that Linnaeus is gently organizing. The worries of the day are being picked up one by one, labeled and placed into their proper drawers.
This worry belongs in the work drawer, so we place it there and slide it shut. This thought belongs in the past drawer, so we file it away and turn the key. This feeling belongs in the future drawer, so we put it aside for tomorrow. The desk of your mind is becoming clear, smooth, and empty, just like the polished wood of Linnaeus's table. There is a profound relief in classification, in knowing that you do not have to hold everything in your head at once, because it all has a place where it can live safely without your constant attention. Linnaeus pauses to look at his floral clock, a garden bed he designed where different flowers open and close at specific hours of the day. He knows that the hawkweed closes at noon, that the dandelion shuts its petals at 5, and that the water lily folds itself up as the sun sets. He understands that nature keeps time, that biology has a schedule, and that rest is a mandatory part of that schedule. You are part of this floral clock. Your body has its own internal timing, and right now the petals of your consciousness are folding inward, closing against the night, protecting the delicate center of your mind. It is the time for the water lily of your soul to sleep. The system of nature is a system of safety because when we name something, we understand it, and when we understand it, we no longer fear it. The unknown becomes the known. The monster in the shadows becomes just a biological organism with a Latin name and a specific behavior. Linnaeus writes the descriptions of the animals with a clinical, poetic brevity, describing the sleeping habits of the dormouse and the migration of the swallow. He sees the world as a great household where every species has a job and a room. You are currently in your room, in your habitat, perfectly adapted for this moment of rest. The sheets on your bed are the layers of your environment. The temperature is regulated for your survival, and the dark is your shelter. The Latin words swirl in the room like dust motes in the moonlight, distinct and dignified. Mammalia, chordata, primates. These are the ancient titles of your lineage, the badges of your biological history. Linnaeus feels a deep sense of piety as he works, believing that by cataloging the creation, he is getting closer to the Creator. And this spiritual connection adds a layer of deep peace to his scientific work. It is not just data, it is devotion. The act of organizing is an act of care. When you organize your room, you feel better, and Linnaeus is organizing the earth. He dips the pen into the inkwell again, the black liquid reflecting the candlelight, and he adds another species to the list. The list grows longer, and the world becomes clearer. There is something hypnotic about a long list, about the repetition of similar items one after another. It is like counting sheep, but more meaningful. You are counting the members of your earthly family. The red fox, Vulpes vulpes, the snowy owl, Bubo scandiacus, the weeping willow, Salix babylonica. Each name is a lullaby, a soft sound that defines a unique life.
The chaos of the wilderness is tamed by the pen. The jungle is turned into a library. As you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine the shelves of this great library stretching up to the ceiling, filled with leather-bound books containing the names of everything that ever lived. It is a quiet place, a sanctuary of knowledge where silence is the rule. You are walking through the aisles of this library, running your fingers along the spines of the books, feeling the texture of the history of life. You find the book with your name on it, the volume that describes you, and you open it to find a blank page waiting for tonight's dreams. Linnaeus finishes his page and sands the wet ink, blowing gently to dry it. The sound of his breath is the sound of the wind in the Swedish pines, a hushing sound that signals the end of the work. He closes the heavy cover of the Systema Naturae with a soft thud, a sound of finality. The catalog is complete for the night. The order has been established. Everything is in its right place. The birds are in their nests, the fish are in the depths, and you are in your bed. The scientific mind of Linnaeus rests, knowing that the universe is not a mess, but a masterpiece of structure. He extinguishes the candle, and the study fills with the friendly darkness of the north. The garden outside continues its slow, silent growth, the roots extending into the cool earth, the leaves drinking the night air, all according to the laws of the classes and orders he has written down. You can let go of the need to control, the need to organize your own life for just these few hours, because the great catalog is already written. The rules of biology are holding you. Your heart knows how to beat without your instruction. Your lungs know how to breathe without your command. Your cells know how to divide without your supervision. You are a well-ordered organism,
a perfect specimen of life, and you are free to drift into the unstructured freedom of sleep. The Latin names fade into a soft murmur, a chant of ancient sounds that protects you. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, sleep. The hierarchy leads you down into the softest, deepest velvet of the night, where there are no more lists to make, no more things to name, only the pure, silent existence of being. The garden of Uppsala is asleep under the stars. The flowers are closed, the taxonomist is resting, and the world turns slowly in its orderly orbit. You are safe in the system of nature. You are held in the arms of the great design. Let the logic of the universe lull you. Let the structure support you. And let the order of the natural world guide you into a deep and restorative slumber. From the organized drawers of the Swedish botanist, we now travel to the wild, windswept edge of the world, to the gray and dramatic shoreline of Lyme Regis in England in the early 19th century, where the history of life is written in stone. It is the morning after a great storm has battered the coast, and the air is thick with the smell of salt spray and wet clay, and the sound of the English Channel crashing rhythmically against the cliffs creates a backdrop of eternal power. Here, walking slowly across the rocky beach, is a woman named Mary Anning, wrapped in a heavy wool coat, her eyes scanning the ground, not for gold or jewels, but for the petrified remains of monsters. She is the first paleontologist, the woman who will reveal to the world the concept of deep time, and tonight we walk beside her in the wet sand, exploring the biology of the past. The cliffs towering above her are made of blue lias, a formation of limestone and shale that looks like a giant layer cake of history, each layer representing millions of years of sediment that settled on the bottom of an ancient tropical sea. It is a landscape of immense age, where the present moment feels like a tiny speck of dust, and your current worries feel insignificant against the backdrop of geological time. Mary pauses, her boots sinking slightly into the soft mud, and she spots something protruding from the cliff face, a hint of bone that does not belong to any creature living today. She kneels down, the cold, wet sand seeping through her skirts, connecting her to the earth, and she begins her work with a small hammer and a chisel. Listen to the sound of her tools, the metallic clink against the stone, a steady, patient rhythm that echoes the beating of a clock. Clink, clink, clink. She is uncovering the vertebrae of an ichthyosaurus, a marine reptile that swam in these waters 200 million years ago, when this cold coast was a warm equatorial ocean. As she chips away the gray rock, she reveals the spinal column of the creature, disc by disc, perfectly preserved. This is the miracle of fossilization, a biological process where the organic material of the bone is slowly replaced molecule by molecule with minerals, turning the fleeting life of the animal into a permanent statue of stone. Imagine the spine of the sea dragon, a long, flexible rod that once powered it through the water, now resting in the rock, completely still, completely at peace. The concept of deep time is a heavy, comforting blanket that wraps around the mind, telling us that time is vast and slow, and that there is no need to rush. Mary Anning brushes away the dust with her fingers, revealing the ribs of the animal, the cage that once held a beating heart, and lungs that breathed the air of the Jurassic period. She works with a reverence for biology, understanding that this was once a living, breathing mother, perhaps, or a hunter that navigated the currents with the same instincts that fish use today. The eye socket of the ichthyosaurus is enormous, designed to see in the deep, dark water, and as Mary uncovers it, she feels a connection across the eons, a gaze that travels from the deep past to the present.
You can feel that connection too. The realization that life has been here for a very long time, that the biology inside you is the result of a chain of survival that stretches back through the ice ages, through the asteroid impacts, through the shifting of continents. You are part of a resilient lineage that has survived everything, and tonight you can rest in that resilience. The wind blows across the beach, carrying the cry of a seagull, a sound that might be similar to the cries of the pterosaurs that once flew over these waters, and the continuity of life brings a sense of stability. Mary Anning knows that the cliffs are dangerous, that they can collapse at any moment, but she moves with a calm assurance, trusting her knowledge of the land, just as you can trust your knowledge of your own body to keep you safe through the night. The tide is going out, retreating from the shore, leaving behind pools of water that reflect the gray sky, and the rhythm of the ocean is the rhythm of the earth's breath. Inhale with the tide coming in, and exhale with the tide going out. The fossil Mary is excavating is trapped in a permanent sleep, a slumber that has lasted for epochs, and there is a profound stillness in that image. The creature has finished its struggle, it has finished its swimming, it has nothing left to do but to be held by the stone. As you visualize the fossil encased in the rock, imagine yourself encased in your bed, held by the mattress, supported by the floor, supported by the foundation of your home, which rests on the crust of the earth. You are held by gravity, held by the planet, just as securely as the ichthyosaur is held by the cliff. Paleontology teaches us about extinction, but in this quiet story, extinction is not tragic. It is simply the end of a chapter, a time for the stage to be cleared, for new life to emerge. It is a natural cycle of waking and sleeping on a planetary scale. The dinosaurs had their day in the sun, and then they lay down to sleep in the earth, making way for the mammals, making way for us. It is a comforting thought that we do not have to carry the world forever, that we are just temporary guardians of the spark of life, and that tonight we can lay our burden down. Mary Anning finally uncovers the paddle of the reptile, the fin that steered it through the ancient seas. The bones of the fin look remarkably like the bones of a human hand, the radius, the ulna, the phalanges, a biological echo that reminds us that we are all related, that we all share the same blueprint. She runs her rough hand over the smooth stone, feeling the texture of history. The rain begins to fall softly, a gentle mist that dampens the sound of the world turning, the beach into a soft gray blur. This is the weather of sleep, cool and damp and enclosing. Mary gathers her tools, placing the hammer and chisel back into her basket. Her work for the day is done. She cannot excavate the whole animal in one day. It will take weeks or months of patient labor, and she accepts this slowness.
You too can accept that you do not need to solve all your problems today, that some things take time, that it is okay to leave the work unfinished and walk away to rest. She turns her back to the cliff and walks towards the small town of Lyme Regis, where the lights are beginning to twinkle in the windows of the cottages, warm yellow beacons in the gray twilight. Behind her, the ichthyosaurus remains in its stone bed, guarded by the cliffs, covered by the falling rain, waiting for another day. The concept of deep time dilutes the stress of the modern world, because when you think in millions of years, a deadline or an email seems incredibly small. The anxiety dissolves in the vast ocean of time, leaving only a sense of awe. You are a biological miracle existing in this precise moment, allowed to witness the universe and allowed to close your eyes and drift away. The sound of Mary's footsteps fades into the sound of the surf, the hiss of the water over the pebbles, the deep boom of the waves against the rocks. The Jurassic coast is a place of memory where the earth remembers everything. And because the earth remembers, you can forget. You can forget the details of the day. You can forget the lists and the schedules, and you can sink into the deep time of sleep. Imagine the layers of the earth beneath you, the soil, the clay, the limestone, the granite, going down, down, down into the core of the planet. This solid mass is your bed tonight. The biology of the past surrounds you, the atoms of ancient stars and ancient seas making up your very blood. You are safe in the timeline of history. The scene fades from the gray beach to the black screen of your mind, but the feeling of weight and permanence remains. You are heavy like the stone. You are still like the fossil. You are deep like the ocean. Mary Anning is home now, warming her hands by the fire, and the coast is left to the night. The wind whispers the secrets of the dinosaurs, and the waves sing the song of the ages. Let go of the present and float in the river of time, drifting back to the source, drifting back to the silence, drifting back to the dark. The deep time is a gentle time, a slow time, a time for healing and for rest. Sleep now in the arms of history. Sleep now in the quiet of the earth. Sleep now and let the millions of years watch over you. From the windswept fossil beaches of the coast, we move inland now to the lush green heart of the English countryside, to the county of Kent in the middle of the 19th century, where a quiet revolution is taking place, not with guns or shouting, but with a pen and a whisper. We arrive at Down House, a white Georgian home surrounded by meadows and ancient trees, where Charles Darwin sits in his study, a room that has become the epicenter of biological thought. It is a rainy afternoon, and the drops are tapping gently against the glass of the tall windows, a rhythmic drumming that seals the house off from the rest of the world, creating a sanctuary of silence and thought. Darwin is an older man now, with a long white beard and deep, thoughtful eyes, and he sits in a chair that has been modified with wheels, allowing him to slide between his desk and his specimen tables without ever breaking his concentration. The room is a cluttered comfort, filled with the smell of old books, dried plants, and the faint chemical scent of preservation fluid. Piles of paper stacked on the floor surround him like a fortress of knowledge, and on the desk lies the manuscript that will change everything, On the Origin of Species. But tonight, we do not focus on the controversy or the noise. We focus on the slowness. The theory of evolution by natural selection is a theory of immense patience. It tells us that nature does not jump, it crawls. It changes over millions of years, so slowly that if you watched it in real time, you would see nothing at all, just as when you watch the hour hand of a clock, you cannot see it move. This is the pace of the earth, and it is a pace that invites deep rest. Darwin dips his pen into the inkwell, the liquid black and smooth, and writes a sentence about the struggle for existence. But in this quiet room, it does not feel like a struggle. It feels like a dance. He imagines the tangled bank of a river, clothed with many plants of many kinds, with birds singing on the bushes, with various insects flitting about, and with worms crawling through the damp earth. He sees how each of these beings is related to the others, bound together by a web of complex relations. He understands that life is fluid, that it adapts to fit its environment, just as water takes the shape of the pitcher. Think of the comfort of adaptation, how your body adapts to the mattress, finding the perfect position, settling into the curves and the hollows until there is no resistance left.
This is the essence of Darwin's idea, that the organism that fits the best is the one that survives. You are a survivor. You are the product of an unbroken chain of ancestors who successfully fitted into their world, who found food, who found shelter, and who passed the torch of life down to you. There is a deep biological pride in this realization. You carry the wisdom of the ages in your DNA. Darwin looks out the window at his famous sand walk, the gravel path he calls his thinking path, where he walks every day to organize his mind. He imagines walking there now, his boots crunching softly on the stones, his pace measured and slow. 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps. The repetition calms him, just as the repetition of your breath calms you.
He thinks about the tortoises he saw on the Galapagos Islands, vast ancient creatures that moved with glacial slowness, carrying their heavy shells like mobile homes. He remembers how they would sink into the mud to sleep, how they would let out a long hiss of air as they retreated into their armor. Visualize that tortoise now, heavy and grounded, safe inside its shell, completely at one with the earth. Evolution is not about speed, it is about endurance. It is about the ability to rest and conserve energy. Darwin writes about the variation in nature, how no 2 leaves are exactly alike, how no 2 snowflakes are identical, and how you are unique in the entire history of the universe. There has never been a biological combination exactly like you, and there never will be again. You are a singular experiment of nature, a masterpiece of adaptation. The fire in the grate crackles softly, casting a warm orange glow across the spines of the books, and the warmth radiates into the room, keeping the damp English chill at bay. Darwin considers the pigeon coop in his garden, where he studies inheritance. He thinks of the soft cooing of the birds, a sound that is one of the most relaxing in nature, a gentle warble that speaks of safety and home. He realizes that traits are passed down, that the shape of a beak or the color of a feather is a gift from the past. You have your grandmother's eyes or your father's hands. You are a collection of memories woven into flesh. This connection to the past means you are never alone. You are supported by a lineage that stretches back to the very first cell in the primordial ocean. Darwin leans back in his chair, rubbing his tired eyes. He suffers from ill health, from a fatigue that forces him to rest often, and because of this, he values sleep deeply. He knows that the body needs time to repair, to sort through the experiences of the day, and to select what is important. Natural selection happens in the mind, too. As you sleep, your brain selects the memories to keep and discards the ones that are not useful, pruning the neural pathways, just as a gardener prunes a rosebush. It is a gentle process of refinement, making you better, making you sharper, making you more adapted for tomorrow. The light outside begins to fade, the gray rain turning into a blue twilight, and the study becomes a cave of coziness. Darwin looks at a drawing of the tree of life, a diagram he sketched years ago. It shows a single trunk branching out into limbs and twigs, representing all the species on Earth. It is a symbol of unity. It means that the oak tree outside the window is your cousin, that the dog sleeping by the fire is your kin, that the bird in the eaves is a distant relative. We are all family. We are all leaves on the same great tree. This feeling of interconnectedness dissolves the isolation of the ego. You are part of the great biomass of the planet. The struggle for existence is over for today. The competition has ceased. The survival of the fittest has led you here, to this safe, warm bed, where the only thing you have to do is breathe. Darwin puts down his pen. The ink is wet, glistening on the page, capturing a thought that will echo through the centuries. But the man himself is just a man tired and ready for rest. He watches a barnacle in a jar on his desk, a creature he studied for 8 years. The barnacle attaches itself to a rock and stays there, solid and immovable, letting the ocean bring it food. Be like the barnacle now. Attach yourself to this moment of rest. Let the tides of the universe wash over you. There is no need to swim, no need to hunt, no need to move. You have found your rock. The house is quiet now. The servants have gone to their quarters. The children are asleep, and the only sound is the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It is the sound of time passing, the sound of evolution occurring second by second. Nature works in the dark. The moth evolves to match the bark of the tree. The flower evolves to match the shape of the bee, and you evolve to match the rhythm of sleep. Darwin blows out the lamp on his desk, and the smell of the smoke mixes with the smell of the rain. The darkness is total and comforting. He knows that the world will keep turning without him, that the mechanisms of nature are automatic and self-correcting. He does not need to steer the ship. The survival code is written in every cell of your body, a silent instruction manual that knows exactly how to keep you alive and how to restore you. You can trust that code. You can surrender to the biology that built you. As Charles Darwin closes his eyes, he does not think of the grand theories or the arguments of critics. He thinks of the simple beauty of a tangled bank, the endless forms most beautiful and most wonderful that have been and are being evolved. The revolution is quiet. The change is slow. The night is long. Let the slow, steady river of evolution carry you. Drift down the stream of time, past the generations, past the centuries, past the eras, back to the deep, calm ocean of the beginning. You are safe in the process. You are a success of history. You are adapted for sleep. The study at Down House fades into the shadows, the books and the bones and the birds all settling into the silence. The revolution sleeps, and so do you, wrapped in the warm embrace of the natural world, perfectly fitted for this night, perfectly designed for this rest. From the misty hills of England and the study of evolution, we now travel east across the continent of Europe to the quiet town of Brno in the mid-19th century, where the secrets of our inheritance are being whispered in a walled garden. It is a bright, clear morning in the height of summer, and we find ourselves within the stone walls of the Augustinian Abbey of St. Thomas. The world outside is changing rapidly with factories and steam engines, but here inside the monastery walls, time moves at the speed of nature. The air is filled with the scent of damp soil and blooming sweet peas, and the only sound is the distant tolling of a church bell and the soft humming of bees. Here we meet Gregor Mendel, a man of God and a man of science, dressed in the heavy black robes of his order, walking slowly down the neat rows of green plants. He is the gardener of mathematics, the man who will discover that life follows a strict and beautiful logic. He stops before a patch of Pisum sativum, the common garden pea, and he looks at them with a gaze of intense focus. To anyone else, these are just vegetables, ingredients for a soup, but to Mendel, they are the keys to the code of life. He holds a small camel hair brush in his hand, delicate and fine, and he begins his work. He is performing a wedding of flowers, carefully transferring the golden pollen from the stamen of a purple flower to the stigma of a white one. It is a delicate operation, requiring a steady hand and a patient heart, and the repetition of the movement is hypnotic. Dip and brush, dip and brush. He is controlling the lineage of these plants, asking nature a specific question.
How are traits passed down from parent to child? As you watch him work, imagine the gentle sun warming your back just as it warms the back of the monk. The garden is a grid of order, a place where chaos is not allowed to enter. Mendel understands that biology is not random, that there are rules hidden beneath the surface of the living world, rules that can be counted and calculated. He is looking for the patterns of heredity. He observes that some plants are tall, reaching up towards the sky, while others are short, hugging the earth. He sees that some seeds are round and smooth like little green pearls, while others are wrinkled and rough. He does not judge these traits, he simply counts them. Counting is one of the most soothing activities for the human mind. It is rhythmic, it is predictable, and it demands nothing but presence. Mendel sits on a small wooden stool in the shade of a fruit tree and begins to count the pods. 1 smooth, 2 smooth, 3 smooth, 1 wrinkled. The numbers fall into a rhythm, a cadence that sounds like a waltz. He discovers a ratio, a magical proportion of 3 to 1, 3 dominant traits for every 1 recessive trait. It is a mathematical harmony that sings through every living thing. This discovery implies that there is a deep order to the universe, that even in the mixing of life, there is a plan. As you lie in bed, let this sense of order wash over you.
You are not a random collection of accidents. You are a mathematically precise creation. The color of your eyes, the texture of your hair, the shape of your smile, these are all the results of these invisible factors that Mendel is tracking. He calls them elements. We now call them genes. They are the instructions written in the library of your cells, passed down from your ancestors through the generations to you. Think of the comfort of this continuity. You are carrying the history of your family within you. You are the blooming of a seed that was planted long ago. Mendel writes his numbers in a ledger, his handwriting neat and small, recording the data with the precision of a clockmaker. He knows that the white flower is not lost when it is crossed with the purple one. It is simply hidden, waiting for the next generation to emerge. This is the concept of the recessive trait, the quiet trait that sleeps. There is a part of you that is sleeping right now, waiting for the future. But for tonight, you are just the observer in the garden. The wind rustles the leaves of the pea plants, creating a soft, dry sound like the turning of pages. The sun moves higher in the sky, but the garden remains a sanctuary of peace. Mendel's work is slow work. It takes months for the plant to grow, for the flower to bloom, for the pod to ripen. He cannot rush the peas, and you cannot rush your sleep. You must wait for the cycle to complete itself. The patience of the monk is the patience of the mountain. He trusts the process. He knows that if he plants the seed, the plant will grow. Trust in your own biology tonight. Trust that if you close your eyes, the sleep will come. The garden is a place of binary choices, green or yellow, tall or short, smooth or wrinkled. But in this simplicity there is rest. The mind does not need to grapple with the complex shades of gray. It can rest in the certainty of the laws of nature. Mendel finishes his counting for the morning and stands up, brushing the dirt from his robes. He looks out over his plot of land, a sea of green dotted with white and violet blossoms, and he feels a profound sense of satisfaction. He has glimpsed the blueprint of God. He has seen the machinery of inheritance. He does not seek fame. He does not seek applause. He seeks only the truth, and the truth is quiet. The birds in the Abbey garden sing a midday song, a melody that has not changed for thousands of years, just as the genes of the birds have passed down their song from generation to generation.
You are part of this great chain of being. You are connected to the monk, connected to the peas, connected to the soil.
The science of genetics is not cold. It is a story of family, of belonging, of the threads that bind us all together. As the afternoon wears on, the shadows of the monastery walls lengthen, stretching across the garden like a soft blanket. The flowers begin to close, protecting their precious pollen for the next day. The pea pods hang heavy and green, full of the promise of the future. Mendel gathers his books and his brushes and walks slowly back towards the stone arches of the abbey. The air cools and the smell of the earth becomes stronger, a grounding scent that brings the mind down from the clouds. Inside the monastery, the halls are silent, conducive to meditation and rest. Mendel's mind is filled with numbers, but they are soft numbers, gentle ratios that explain the world. 3 to 1, 3 to 1. The rhythm repeats like a heartbeat. As you drift towards sleep, imagine the basket of peas sitting on Mendel's table. Imagine running your hands through them, feeling the smooth, round coolness of the seeds. They are the pearls of biology, the tiny vessels of life. There is nothing to worry about in the garden of mathematics. Everything is accounted for. Everything is calculated. Everything is known. The mystery of life is not a chaos. It is a beautiful, complex equation that balances perfectly to zero. The sun sets behind the hills of Moravia, turning the sky a deep indigo, and the first stars appear. These stars are the distant ancestors of the atoms in your body. The genetic code that built you is as ancient as the starlight. You are a child of the universe, designed with the same care as the simple garden pea. Let the logic of the garden soothe you. Let the certainty of the numbers comfort you. Let the generations of the past support you. The monk blows out his candle, and the abbey goes dark, joining the silence of the night. The genetic dance continues in the dark, visible only to the mind's eye. The helix spins, the cells divide, and the traits are passed on in a silent, eternal river of life. You are floating on that river now, safe and sound, carried by the current of your own biology. Sleep now in the garden of peace, where the math is perfect and the rest is deep. From the quiet monastery garden in Austria, we now travel west to the glowing gaslights of Paris in the middle of the 19th century, where the cobblestone streets glisten with rain and the Seine River flows silently through the heart of the city. We are entering the golden age of bacteriology, a time when humanity finally opened its eyes to the invisible world that surrounds us. It is late at night in the year 1864, and we find ourselves in the laboratory of Louis Pasteur at the École Normale Supérieure. The room is warm and filled with the scent of sterilized glass and Bunsen burners, a smell that signifies cleanliness and order. Pasteur is a man of intense focus, with a short beard and piercing eyes, and he is standing before a table covered with glass flasks of a peculiar shape. They have long, curving necks that twist like the neck of a swan, elegant and beautiful. These are the famous swan-necked flasks, the instruments that will prove once and for all that life does not just appear out of nowhere, but that it comes from other life. Inside the flasks is a nutrient broth, a golden liquid that Pasteur has boiled to kill anything living within it. He watches the liquid, waiting for it to cloud over, waiting for the signs of decay. But the liquid remains perfectly clear. It is as clear as a mountain stream, as clear as a diamond. He has proven that the dust and the germs in the air are trapped in the curve of the glass neck, unable to reach the broth.
This experiment is a demonstration of protection. It shows that if you create a shield, the interior remains pure and safe. As you listen to this, imagine that your bedroom is like that flask, a protected space where the chaos of the outside world cannot enter. The curves of the walls, the closed door, the window pane, they all act as a barrier, keeping the noise and the stress away, leaving you in a state of pure, sterile peace. Pasteur's discovery of the germ theory is not a story of fear, it is a story of empowerment. Before this, people thought illness was a punishment or a random miasma of bad air. But Pasteur showed that there is a specific cause, and if there is a cause, there is a cure. He showed us that we are not helpless. This knowledge brings a deep sense of security to the modern mind. But the story does not end with the glass flask, for you have a shield much more powerful than glass. You have the immune system. Let your attention turn inward now, diving deep into the microscopic rivers of your own body, into the warm red flow of your blood. Here, in this liquid life force, there are millions of silent guardians patrolling the vessels. These are the white blood cells, the leukocytes, the knights of the body. They are not rigid soldiers, but soft, shape-shifting entities that move with the grace of water. Imagine them flowing through your veins, white and opalescent, sliding along the walls of the capillaries, watching, waiting, protecting. They are the most advanced security system in the known universe.
You do not need to instruct them, you do not need to pay them, you do not need to even think about them. They have been with you since before you were born, and they will be with you until the very end. This is the biology of safety. When you sleep, your body does not shut down its defenses. In fact, it strengthens them. Science tells us that sleep is when the immune system restocks its armory, releasing cytokines and antibodies that repair the body and fight off any intruders. So by sleeping, you are actively making yourself stronger. You are building your shield. Pasteur looks at a drop of blood under his microscope and sees these cells moving. He calls it the milieu intérieur, the internal environment. He understands that the health of the body depends on the balance of this internal world. Visualize a neutrophil, one of the most common types of white blood cells. It moves like a microscopic amoeba, flowing towards anything that shouldn't be there and gently engulfing it. It is a process called phagocytosis, a word that sounds technical, but describes a cleaning process. It is the body sweeping the floor, taking out the trash, keeping the house tidy. There is no violence here, only a quiet, efficient removal of the unnecessary. Your body is a self-cleaning temple. Feel the comfort of knowing that you are being looked after from the inside out. Even as your conscious mind drifts away into dreams, these biological patrols are swimming through your system, ensuring that you are safe, ensuring that you are whole. Pasteur's work led to the development of vaccines, the ultimate shield, where we teach the body how to defend itself. He realized that the body has a memory. If the immune system meets a germ once, it remembers it forever. It creates a specific key for that specific lock, and if that germ ever dares to return, the body is ready instantly. You are carrying a biological library of victories within you. Every cold you have ever recovered from, every time you scraped your knee and it healed, is recorded in your cells. You are a survivor. You are a fortress. This concept of biological memory is deeply reassuring because it means you are constantly learning, constantly adapting, constantly becoming more resilient. The gaslight in the laboratory hisses softly, a comforting white noise that masks the sounds of the Paris streets. Pasteur sits on a wooden stool, rubbing his forehead, his mind at rest because he knows the truth. He knows that the air is full of life, but he also knows how to keep it at bay. He looks at the clear broth in the swan-necked flask one more time. It has been sitting there for days, and it is still pristine. It is a symbol of purity. Let your mind become like that broth, clear and undisturbed. The thoughts that usually cloud your mind are trapped in the curve of the neck, unable to reach the center of your consciousness. You are protected by the geometry of sleep. The immune system is also a system of distinction. It knows the difference between self and non-self. It knows exactly who you are, and it protects your identity. It accepts the nutrients, the water, the oxygen, and it rejects the toxins. It is a discerning intelligence that operates on a cellular level. You can trust this intelligence.
You do not need to worry about your health right now, because the white blood cells are on the night shift. They are gliding through the lymphatic system, the quiet back roads of the body, flushing out toxins while you lie motionless. It is a nocturnal washing, a purification that leaves you fresh for the morning. Pasteur stands up and walks to the window, looking out at the Latin Quarter. The city is sleeping. The citizens of Paris are resting in their beds, protected by the walls of their houses, but more importantly, protected by the skin that covers their bodies. The skin is the first line of defense, a seamless suit of armor that keeps the world out and the water in. Feel the air on your skin now, the sheets against your body, and appreciate this barrier. It is strong, it is flexible, it is yours. The science of immunology is the science of self-preservation. It is the story of how life fights to stay alive, and you are winning that fight every single second. The heart pumps the blood, and the blood carries the shield. It is a continuous loop of protection. Pasteur extinguishes the gas lamp, and the room plunges into a soft velvet darkness. The glass flasks glint dimly in the moonlight, capturing the faint glow of the stars. The invisible world is out there, but it cannot hurt you. You have the knowledge of Pasteur and the biology of millions of years of evolution on your side. The germ theory is not a scary story. It is a story of how we mastered the dark. It is the story of how we learned to wash our hands, to sterilize our tools, to vaccinate our children. It is the story of triumph. As you sink deeper into the mattress, visualize the white blood cells slowing down their patrol slightly, not stopping, but relaxing, knowing that the body is safe in the harbor of sleep. The inflammation settles down, the fever cools, the tissues repair. This is the healing power of the night. You are a biological miracle, a complex organism with a built-in defense force that never sleeps so that you can. Trust the shield, trust the white cells, trust the barrier. Louis Pasteur walks out of the laboratory, locking the heavy wooden door behind him. The click of the lock is the final signal of safety. The lab is secure. The experiment is a success. The body is ready to rest. Let the image of the clear golden liquid in the flask stay in your mind, a symbol of your own inner clarity. The chaos is outside, but inside there is only peace. Inside there is only order. Inside there is only the silent rhythmic flow of the immune system, watching over you like a guardian angel made of biology. Sleep now in the safety of your own skin. Sleep now in the knowledge of your own strength. Sleep now and let the invisible shield hold you in the deep, restorative darkness.
From the protective shield of the blood and the streets of Paris, we journey south, now crossing the Pyrenees Mountains to the warm, dry landscape of Spain in the late 19th century, arriving in a quiet study in Madrid where the secrets of the human mind are being drawn in black ink. The air here is still and smells of old paper and the sharp metallic tang of silver nitrate, and the room is illuminated by the soft glow of a gas lamp that casts long, intricate shadows on the walls. Sitting at a heavy oak desk is Santiago Ramón y Cajal, the father of modern neuroscience,
a man who combines the precise eye of a scientist with the delicate hand of an artist. He is hunched over a microscope, peering into a world that no one has ever truly seen before, a world that exists inside every single one of us. He is looking at a slice of brain tissue stained with a special silver technique that turns the cells black against a golden background, and what he sees takes his breath away. He does not see a chaotic mesh or a tangled web as others believed. Instead, he sees individual, distinct cells of breathtaking beauty. He sees a forest. Imagine a vast, ancient forest in the dead of winter where the trees are bare and their branches stretch out into the sky in complex, delicate patterns. This is what your brain looks like under the lens. Cajal dips his quill into the inkwell and begins to draw on a piece of paper, capturing the anatomy of thought. He calls these cells neurons, but in his poetic moments, he calls them the butterflies of the soul. He imagines them fluttering in the garden of the gray matter, their delicate wings beating to the rhythm of life. As you listen to this description, visualize the forest within your own head. It is a forest of 30 billion trees, a landscape of infinite complexity. But tonight, the forest is calm. The wind has died down. The leaves are still. Cajal draws the cell body, the soma, which is the heart of the neuron, and then he draws the dendrites, the thousands of tiny branches that reach out to listen to their neighbors. These dendrites are like the roots of a plant seeking water, or the branches of an oak seeking light, constantly growing, constantly changing. This is the phenomenon of neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself. And tonight, as you sleep, your brain is tending to this forest. It is pruning the dead branches and strengthening the strong ones. It is a gardening process that happens only when you are at rest. Cajal traces the long, thin line of the axon, the wire that carries the signal away from the cell. He realizes that these cells talk to each other, that they send messages across the vast distances of the mind. Imagine a gentle electrical pulse starting at the center of a neuron and traveling down the axon, like a ripple of light moving through a fiber optic cable. It is not a shock, it is a soft bioluminescent glow, a blue whisper of energy. This is the language of your existence. Every thought you have ever had, every dream you have ever dreamed, is just a spark of electricity moving through this forest. Cajal is fascinated by the connection points, the places where one neuron meets another. He discovers that they do not actually touch. There is a tiny microscopic gap between them, a space of infinite potential. We call this the synapse. It is the bridge where the spark jumps from one side to the other. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff and seeing a bridge of mist connecting you to the other side. That is the synapse. When the electrical signal reaches the end of the line, it releases tiny chemical messengers that float across the gap like boats crossing a quiet river to dock on the other side. This process happens millions of times a second when you are awake, but now, as you drift towards sleep, the traffic on the river is slowing down. The boats are docking for the night. The signals are becoming fewer and farther between. The frantic lightning storm of the waking brain is settling into a slow, rhythmic pulse. Cajal draws the synapse with a series of fine dots, emphasizing the space, the gap, the silence. It is in these gaps that the magic happens. It is in the silence between the notes that the music is made. Your brain is a symphony of these silent gaps. As the scientist works, the city of Madrid sleeps outside his window, the cobblestones cooling in the night air. He feels a deep kinship with these cells. He understands that he is looking at the machinery of consciousness itself.
He sees the pyramidal neurons with their triangular bodies looking like tiny pyramids built by a microscopic civilization. He sees the Purkinje cells with their fan-like branches looking like coral in a deep sea. The variety is endless and the beauty is overwhelming. You are carrying this art gallery within you. You are a masterpiece of biological design. The concept of the neuron brings a sense of individuality to the parts of the brain. Each cell is a life unto itself, with a birth, a job, and a death, but they work together in perfect harmony. When you sleep, the neurons shift their activity. They stop processing the bright lights and the loud noises of the outside world, and they turn inward. They begin to talk to each other in long, slow waves. These are the delta waves of deep sleep, the slow rolling ocean swells of the mind. Cajal's hand moves steadily across the paper, capturing the elegance of this system. He knows that the brain is not a solid block, but a delicate, intricate lace. This lacy structure allows for flow. It allows for the flow of blood, the flow of fluids, and the flow of energy. Imagine a gentle cleansing fluid washing through the forest of your mind, rinsing away the metabolic waste of the day, clearing the fog, polishing the branches. This is what happens when you sleep. It is a biological shower for the brain. The scientist pauses to wipe his glasses, his eyes tired from the strain, but his spirit soaring with discovery. He realizes that the brain is the only organ that studies itself. The neurons in his head are understanding the neurons under the glass. It is a loop of awareness. You can use this awareness now to relax. Visualize the neurons in your forehead, in the prefrontal cortex, the part of you that plans and worries. Imagine them dimming their lights. Imagine the electrical signals fading out. Imagine the dendrites relaxing their grip. The planning center is closing down. Now visualize the neurons in the back of your head, the visual cortex.
The screen is going black. There are no more images to process. The theater is empty. Now visualize the neurons in your body, the long nerves that run down your spine to your fingertips and your toes. They are the extensions of the forest. Feel the quiet traveling down them like a slow wave of relaxation. The signal is clear. The signal is safe. The signal is sleep. Santiago Ramon y Cajal was a man of immense patience, spending thousands of hours alone in the dark, just looking. He teaches us the power of attention. When you pay attention to your own body, to your own biology, you can calm it down. You are the conductor of this orchestra. You can lower the baton and ask the instruments to play a lullaby. The ink on the drawing is drying now, turning a deep, permanent black. The image of the neuron is captured forever. It looks like a tree in winter, standing strong against the white paper. That tree is inside you. It is the tree of life. The electrical currents that power you are the same currents that power the stars, the same fundamental energy of the universe. You are electric, but tonight you are on low power mode. The voltage is dropping to a resting potential. The forest of the mind is entering its nocturnal cycle. The butterflies of the soul are folding their wings, resting on the branches, waiting for the sun of tomorrow. But for now, the darkness is their home. The synapse is quiet, the gap is wide, the silence is deep. Cajal covers his microscope with a cloth, a gesture of respect and finality. The investigation is over. The mystery remains, but the peace is found. He blows out the gas lamp, and the shadows disappear, leaving only the true dark. The study is invisible now, and so is the forest within. You are floating in the void of the mind,
a space where there are no thoughts, only the gentle hum of existence. The neurons are humming, a low, steady note, a vibration of pure being. Drift through this forest, glide past the trunks of the great trees, float across the synapses. There is no resistance here, there is only the flow. The science of the brain is the science of the self, and the self is ready to sleep. The intricate drawing is complete, the map is drawn, the territory is safe. Let the butterflies rest, let the forest sleep, let the mind go dark. You are deep in the biology of the brain, deep in the forest of peace, deep in the slumber of the neurons. Sleep now with the knowledge that the machinery of your mind is perfect, and it is holding you in the gentle web of its own design. From the intricate forest of neurons in Spain, we now travel north across the Channel to the gray and rainy streets of England in the early 1950s, where the final and most profound secret of life is waiting to be uncovered. We find ourselves in two places at once, in the quiet, dark room of King's College in London, and in the cluttered office of the Cavendish Laboratory in Cambridge. The world is recovering from the war, and there's a sense of new beginnings in the air. But here, in these sanctuaries of science, the atmosphere is one of intense, quiet focus. We begin in the dark room with Rosalind Franklin, a woman of immense precision and patience, standing in the faint red glow of the safety light. She is studying a crystal of DNA, a substance that scientists know exists, but whose shape remains a mystery. She is using X-rays, invisible beams of energy, to take a picture of the molecule, and this is slow, exacting work. Listen to the hum of the X-ray machine, a steady, low vibration that fills the room. Rosalind places a tiny fiber of DNA in front of the beam and waits. She waits for hours. She waits for days. She is capturing the shadow of life itself. The image that emerges on the photographic plate is known as Photo 51, and it is a thing of stark beauty. It is a fuzzy black and white image with a dark cross in the center, a pattern of spots that radiates out like a star. To the untrained eye, it looks like a blur, but to Rosalind and the world of science, it is the signature of a helix, a spiral. As you lie in the dark of your own room, imagine that spiral floating in the space before you, a shape that turns and twists with infinite grace. It is the shape of a spiral staircase leading down into the depths of understanding. Now we shift our gaze to Cambridge, to the room shared by James Watson and Francis Crick. They are not taking photos, they are building a model. They are using metal plates and brass rods and clamps, constructing a sculpture of the molecule. The sound here is the soft clinking of metal against metal, the scratching of chalk on a blackboard. They are trying to fit the pieces of the puzzle together, trying to understand how the atoms of life arrange themselves. They try one configuration and it fails. They try another and it falls apart. But then the pieces begin to click into place. They realize that the molecule is not a single strand, but a double one, two strands winding around each other in a perfect embrace. This is the double helix, the twisted ladder of life. It is the most iconic shape in all of biology, and it is the shape that defines you. Visualize this ladder now. The sides of the ladder are made of sugar and phosphate, a strong, flexible backbone that protects the delicate information inside. Imagine running your hand along this smooth, curving rail, feeling the stability of the structure. The rungs of the ladder are the base pairs, the chemical letters of the genetic code. Adenine paired with thymine,
cytosine paired with guanine, A and T, C and G. They fit together like a lock and key, like two hands clasping in a handshake. There is a deep sense of connection in this pairing. It means that at the very core of your being, there is no isolation, there is only connection. Everything is paired, everything is held. Watson and Crick look at their model towering on the desk, a skeletal structure of brass and wire, and they realize they have found the secret of heredity. This structure explains how life copies itself, how a parent passes traits to a child, how a single cell becomes a human being. It is a mechanism of beautiful simplicity. The twisted ladder can unzip down the middle, allowing each side to become a template for a new strand. It is a process that happens with a fluid, silent elegance. As you listen to this, realize that this unzipping and copying is happening inside you right now. In the deep quiet of your cell nuclei, the DNA is maintaining the library of you. It is a library that contains the instructions for building your eyes, your skin, your heart, your brain. The text is written in a language that has no words, only molecules. It is a universal language spoken by every living thing on Earth, from the mushroom to the mammoth, from the bacteria to the blue whale. We all share this same spiral code. This realization brings a profound sense of unity. You are woven from the same thread as the rest of the biosphere. The double helix is a symbol of eternity. The code inside you is billions of years old, passed down through an unbroken chain of survivors. It is an ancient scroll that you carry in every cell. Feel the weight of that history, not as a burden, but as an anchor. You are grounded in the deep past. The spiral shape is soothing to the mind because it has no sharp corners, no sudden stops. It flows, it winds round and round, descending gently into the microscopic world. Imagine yourself walking down a grand spiral staircase made of this crystal DNA. The steps are wide and secure. You are walking down, away from the thoughts of the day, away from the surface of the mind, down into the cellular depths where everything is calm. The structure of DNA is incredibly stable. It can survive for thousands of years in fossils. It is resilient. You are made of this resilient stuff. You are not fragile. You are built on a foundation of chemical strength. The hydrogen bonds that hold the two strands together are like weak magnets, easy to open when needed, but strong enough to hold the latter together against the chaos of the cell. It is a perfect balance of flexibility and strength. Watson and Crick stare at their model in the quiet afternoon of 1953. Outside, the rain continues to fall on the cobblestones of Cambridge, but inside the room, the air is electric with the hush of discovery. They have found the secret of life, and it is quiet. It is not a machine with gears and pistons. It is a molecule of silent geometry. They go to the Eagle pub for lunch, but the true celebration is internal. It is the satisfaction of knowing. The mystery is solved. The blueprint is readable. As you visualize the twisted ladder, imagine it slowly rotating in the dark. It turns with a slow, hypnotic rhythm. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns. The motion is smooth and frictionless. It is the motion of the planets, it is the motion of the galaxies, and it is the motion of life. The DNA molecule is packed tightly into the nucleus, coiled around proteins like thread around a spool. This packing is a marvel of organization. Meters of DNA are squeezed into a space smaller than a speck of dust. This shows that you are vast on the inside. You contain multitudes. The laboratory fades away, the metal model dissolves, and only the image of the helix remains. It is glowing with a soft inner light, the light of knowledge. It is the ladder that connects the Earth to the future. The discovery of the double helix allows us to understand medicine, to understand ancestry,
to understand ourselves. It is the ultimate self-knowledge. But for tonight, it is simply a beautiful shape, a shape that invites you to rest, a shape that tells you that everything is in order. The code is written, the instructions are clear. You do not need to rewrite yourself, you are already complete. The biology of the molecule is a biology of peace. There is no conflict in the base pairs. A always finds T, C always finds G. It is a law of nature, as reliable as gravity. You can depend on this law. You can let go of the control, because the DNA knows what to do. It knows how to repair the cells while you sleep. It knows how to replenish the enzymes. It knows how to keep the heart beating. It is the silent autopilot of your existence. The twisted ladder winds down deeper and deeper into the dark, leading you into the dreamless state. The rungs of the ladder are steps into sleep. Step down one rung, step down another. The spiral turns gently, cradling you in its curves. The science of molecular biology is the science of the very small, and in the very small, there is very little noise. There is only the vibration of atoms, the hum of the bonds, the stillness of the code. Rosalind Franklin turns off the safety light in the dark room. The day is done, the photo is developed, the truth is captured. Watson and Crick leave the Cavendish laboratory, walking out into the cool English evening. The work is finished, the secret is out. You can rest now, knowing that the very fabric of your being is a masterpiece of design. The double helix spins slowly in the void, a golden spiral in the velvet night, twisting and turning, winding you down into the deepest, most restorative sleep. The ladder holds you, the code protects you, the spiral lulls you. You are part of the twisted ladder of life, and you are drifting, drifting, drifting into the silent center of the cell.
From the twisting ladder of the DNA and the microscopic secrets of the nucleus, we now journey to the final destination of our long historical voyage, arriving right here and right now in the present moment, within the sanctuary of your own room. We leave the laboratories of the past, the dusty books of Aristotle and the glass flasks of Pasteur, and we enter the most sophisticated laboratory of all, which is your own living body. Tonight, we explore the miracle of modern physiology, the science of how you exist in a state of perfect balance. This is the symphony of homeostasis. The word homeostasis comes from the Greek meaning standing still or staying the same. But in the language of biology, it is not a frozen stillness. It is a dynamic, gentle, flowing balance, like a boat floating perfectly level on a calm sea. As you lie here in the dark, your body is performing 1,000 invisible adjustments to keep you safe and comfortable. The temperature of the room might change, but your internal body temperature remains constant, protected by the thermostat in your brain. The world outside might be chaotic, but your internal chemistry is a zone of strict order. This is the wisdom of the body, a wisdom that does not require your conscious thought. You can let go of the controls because the autopilot is engaged and it is flawless. The conductor of this symphony is a tiny region in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock that governs your circadian rhythms. For billions of years, life on this planet has evolved in rhythm with the rising and setting of the sun, and you are a creature of this light and dark cycle. Now, as the lights are out and the screens are dark, this master clock sends a signal to the pineal gland, a tiny pine cone-shaped structure deep in the center of your head. It is time for the chemical sunset. The pineal gland begins to release melatonin, the hormone of darkness, the hormone of sleep. Imagine this hormone as a soft, cool mist spreading slowly through your bloodstream, starting from the brain and washing down through your neck, your chest, your arms, and your legs. It is a chemical signal that tells every single cell in your body that the day is over, the work is done, it is time to shift gears. Melatonin is not a drug, it is a natural part of your biology, a gentle key that unlocks the door to rest. As the levels of melatonin rise, you might feel a heaviness in your eyelids, a pleasant weight in your limbs. This is the molecule of peace doing its job. Your body begins to cool down slightly, shedding the heat of the day, which is why the blankets feel so warm and comforting. This drop in temperature is a trigger for deep sleep, a biological invitation to hibernate for the night. Listen to the rhythm of your heart. During the day, it beat faster to power your movements and your thoughts, but now it slows down. The drumbeat becomes softer, more spaced out, more rhythmic. The blood pressure dips, creating a state of low tide within your veins. This is the symphony playing the adagio, the slow movement. The parasympathetic nervous system takes over.
This is the rest and digest system, the opposite of the fight or flight response. Imagine a switch being flipped deep in your nervous system. The stress circuits are powering down, the vigilance centers are turning off. The vagus nerve, which wanders from your brain down to your abdomen, is sending a message of safety to your heart and your stomach. You are safe, you are secure, you are in a state of physiological grace. Modern science has finally answered the question of why we sleep. We used to think it was just a pause, a waste of time. But now we know it is the most active and important time for biological repair. Tonight, while you drift in the dark, a team of microscopic workers will begin their shift. Your muscles, which bore the weight of gravity today, will relax completely, allowing the fibers to repair and rebuild. The tiny tears of exertion will be stitched back together, making you stronger for tomorrow. Your skin cells will divide and regenerate, replacing the old with the new. This is why we call it beauty sleep, because it is literally a process of renewal. But the most miraculous work happens in the brain. We now know about the glymphatic system, a plumbing system for the mind that only opens up when you sleep. Imagine a gentle, clear fluid washing through the tissues of your brain, rinsing away the toxins and the waste products that built up during the day. It is a biological cleansing, a washing away of the metabolic debris so that you wake up with a clear mind. This process requires you to be unconscious. It requires the conscious mind to step aside so the cleaning crew can do their work. So surrendering to sleep is an act of self-care, an act of allowing this deep cleansing to happen. You are not losing time, you are gaining health. The hormones of hunger and fullness, ghrelin and leptin, are being rebalanced, ensuring that your metabolism stays healthy. The immune system is restocking its weapons, preparing to defend you. Everything is being reset. It is like restarting a computer, closing all the open tabs, clearing the cache, and letting the system cool down. The symphony of homeostasis is a song of restoration. As you listen to the silence of the room, realize that you are not just lying there. You are healing, you are growing, you are thriving. The journey we have taken tonight, from the shores of Greece to the microscope in London to the DNA helix, has all led to this understanding that life is resilient. You are the product of unbroken survival. You are a masterpiece of biology. The anxiety of the modern world tries to pull you out of this rhythm, but your biology is stronger. Your genes know how to sleep. Your cells remember the ancient nights. You can trust in the wisdom of your own physiology. Feel the breath entering your lungs, the slow, rhythmic expansion and contraction.
This is the most fundamental rhythm of all. Oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. Life in, stress out. The exchange of gases continues smoothly, effortlessly, governed by the brainstem. You do not need to command it. It is a gift. As the melatonin fills your system, the brain waves begin to slow down. You shift from the busy beta waves of the day to the relaxed alpha waves, and finally down into the deep, slow, rolling delta waves of dreamless sleep. These waves are like the swell of the ocean, huge and calm, rocking you gently. The conscious mind begins to fragment, to dissolve into the abstract images of dreams. This is normal. This is safe. It is the mind sorting through the memories of the day, filing them away in the library of the hippocampus, keeping what is important and discarding the rest. The story of biology is the story of connection, and tonight you are connected to the entire web of life. You are breathing the same air as the trees. You are made of the same atoms as the stars. You are running the same code as the flowers. You are part of the great natural order. The symphony is reaching its final quiet notes. The instruments are fading. The lights are dimming. The body has reached the perfect state of homeostasis. The balance is achieved. The repair has begun. The sleep is here. We have traveled through history to find the science of peace, and we have found it right here inside you. The vital heat of Aristotle is your body warmth. The cells of Hooke are your building blocks. The evolution of Darwin is your history. The DNA of Watson and Crick is your blueprint. And the sleep you are entering now is the culmination of it all, the ultimate biological necessity, the ultimate biological joy. The darkness wraps around you like a soft velvet cloak. The silence is profound. The world has stopped turning for you. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to learn. There is only the being. There is only the breathing. There is only the sleeping. Let the curtain fall on the stage of the day. Let the symphony fade into the gentle hum of existence. You are perfectly balanced. You are perfectly safe. You are perfectly asleep. Good night.